sabe que o teu amor eu sou doente. Farei o meu melhor para te ver sempre na frente. Irei onde o coração me levar e sem receio.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Sporting160EN, and this is podcast number 3. And let me introduce the panel to you. Daniel Saldana, all the way from Toronto, Canada. How you doing, buds?
I'm good, bro. Good to be back on. Talk Sporting with three wonderful people. Let's get this.
And now Bruno Mendes from Maryland, USA. How you doing, buds?
I'm doing good, man. It's been a crazy week with work and school, but finally on break, and we got the win today, so I'm happy as hell to be here with you guys.
I hear you, man. And finally, from Motherland, from all the way from Lisboa, Lisbon, Bruno Brito, Leão Interno. How you doing?
Hello, I'm great. Sporting one, so I'm more than great.
Outstanding. So without any further delays, let's talk about the great victory in Liga Europa in the quarterfinals, the first leg at home against Vitória Plzen. And like I said, we won 2-0. I'm going to go over the lineup. Today, between the pipes, we had Rui Patricio, right fullback Stefan Witkowski. Then we had El Patron Coates. We had our Frenchman, Jérémy Mathieu. And left back, from the beginning, we had Fábio Coentrão. At the midfield, we play as a number 8, Bruno Fernandes. And then William Carvalho as number 6. In the left wing, we had Mr. Acuña from Argentina. And then we had El Costa Ricano, Brano Ruiz, and Gelson Martins as the right winger. Up front as the striker, we had Freddy Montero. We had no Bas Dost, as everybody knows. He was injured. And also Rafael Leão at the last minute, he also got injured. And then on the bench, we had the youngster, Ronaldo Tavares, which we'll talk about it in a little while. So, guys, I'm going to start with Bruno Brito. And why? Because he was in Loco watching the game at José Alvalade. Lucky dog. I wish I was in your place. So, Bruno, tell me, how was the game? How was the atmosphere? It was a total of 26,000 people. Tell me everything, every detail. Give me a recap of the game, buds.
About the public in general. It wasn't a big attendance, but the fans who were at the stadium did their best in order to push the team to the victory, and it was a good atmosphere at the end of all.
Okay, so and what about the game in the first half? How did you feel? Did we miss a lot of opportunities? Did we play well? How was it?
Yeah, sure. Jesus, in my opinion, prepared the game the best way as possible. But the team failed a lot of goals in front of the goal. We missed the opportunity to solve the tie in Lisbon, but we are well positioned to reach the quarterfinals without suffering goals at home, which is good. And that's the most important of all, in my opinion. Without injuries, we lost Coates and William Carvalho for the second leg, but I think we can handle it without them.
Yeah, I feel the same way, honestly. I feel the same way. I don't think we'll be missing them because it's 2-0. I didn't see much of plans, and I think we'll be fine with our replacements. So, Bruno Mendes, why don't you go next? Give me a recap of the game.
Yeah, so unfortunately, I couldn't watch the first half. Well, I did watch literally as I was getting my computer on to ESPN3. Montero literally had just scored the goal, so that was a plus. I got off to a good start. The second half was great. I think after Acuna got taken off, the attack fell a little bit. We weren't as strong going up. From what I hear, on the comments and the tweets that I saw from the first half, that I only saw a minute of it. I'm happy we got the W. It could have easily been more, with a couple opportunities that we'll get more into when we discuss that were missed. William and Kawats, missing the second leg sucks, but I think with that being said, we have suitable replacements that can still and will get the job done for us. And yeah, man, I'm just happy that we are in a very, very good position to move to the quarterfinals of the Europa League.
Great, Danny. Why don't you jump in and tell me what's going on?
Yeah, it was a great game for us. At least we controlled it, even when we weren't attacking at our best. I feel like we controlled the game very well. In the first half, especially, I don't remember them really causing any problems to our net. Truth be told, they really only caused the problem maybe for 10 minutes once we first subbed off Acuna. Besides that, it was basically us controlling the game, doing what we do best, attacking pretty well. And first half, we just, we missed out on a few goals. Acuna hit the bar from that beautiful long shot. And then Gelson even earlier. Credit to the defender. He gets in front of Gelson, but Gelson also misses a tap-in. And then, we have Freddie Montero, who I've been on this podcast saying many times he has to start as number 9. He's not a second striker. He's not a 9.5 to me. He's not a number 10. He's a 9. He's a goal scorer. When he first came to Sporting, that was his trait. He was starting up top. It wasn't underneath Slimani. It was him up top and Slimani on the bench. So yeah, and we played him at number 9 today, kind of forced to play him there because of the injury to Bastos and Rafael Leão, like you mentioned, but and Doumbia. But I think he did very well. Yeah, and then second half, we started off with that second goal right away that kind of killed the game. Bruno Fernandes could have got another goal as well. There was one towards the end where Mathieu, I just love this play where he just came sprinting from his half, sprinted to the other half, and shot it towards the goalie. Did a good job to save it. So yeah, it ended 2-0. Could have easily ended more. I think we all would have been comfortable if it ended more, but 2-0 is not a bad result, especially since they didn't get that away goal. Leaves everything open for us. Leaves us in a very good position. If we score one in Czech Republic, I think we're pretty much good and we're set. And of course, as mentioned, no Quach, no William, but I think we have suitable replacements in André Pinto. Hopefully, he'll be ready for Thursday. We have Pilinga that was on the bench. We have Petrovic that didn't have a bad game either before he got a red card for no reason. So we have suitable replacements. So I'm confident going into it. I'm confident we can get to the quarterfinals. And it was a very impressive campaign or impressive game from every single one of them out on the field today. So credit to them.
Okay, yeah, good recap of the game. So now I'm gonna ask you a couple questions to each one of you. Bruno, I'll go with you first. Kuwata's yellow card and William's yellow card. Do you think those two players could have avoided the yellow cards?
The one on Kuwats, the yellow card that he got was tough because if he hadn't done what he did, the guy was on a clear breakaway, so it was kind of one of those situations where he had to do it. So unfortunately, he did pick up the yellow. William, I think, was a clumsy challenge because I feel like we would have been able to stop their attack. I feel like there were players on the back end of that attack that they were going on, and he, it was a clumsy challenge. I agree that it was a yellow. Unfortunately, they're not going to be at the next game, but it doesn't scare me. We still have suitable replacements. I still trust and Andrea Pinto. Like I said, every time he's come in, he doesn't do anything special. He's there. He knows what needs to be done. Nothing flashy. I'm a big fan of him in that respect. And as far as William, we have Battaglia we can bring in. We have Paulinho, who's a quality youngster that we have on the squad that hopefully does get an opportunity. So I'm not worried. And I mean, better for them to pick up the yellow now, I guess, than later down the road where they will have to miss a game in the quarters or the semis.
Okay, good. Yeah, I feel the same way too, actually. So I'm on board with you on this one. So now, Leão Interno. In regards to PK at minute 38 against in favor of Montero, was that a PK in your perspective, or was it not a PK? I'm asking you because you were live, you saw it yourself at the stadium.
I was a little bit far from the. It wasn't clearly at all because my angle of vision wasn't the best to judge that.
Okay, but did you see on the replay on the big screens on the stadium?
No, but my first view, it was a penalty, but the referee seems confident that it isn't. So yeah, I trust him. But I saw the feedback after the game, and everyone saying that it was a clearly penalty kick. So yeah, I trust them.
Yeah, me too. I saw the replay several times. I mean, from home it's easier because you get to see different cameras, different angles, and it was a clear penalty. I mean, even the SIG commentators, which they're not really sporting fans, even them, they said it was a penalty. So I was surprised. Maybe one of them converted to Sporting, but I don't think so. I'm just kidding. So, Denny, a couple questions for you. At minute 53, what happened? Do you remember? No. I put you on the spot.
I think we might have lost him. I'm not sure.
Okay, so Bruno, since you spoke for him on his behalf, what happened in minute 53?
Minute 53.
Yeah. Something special happened in Avalanche.
In minute 53. I'm trying to...
Hello?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. There he is. Yep, we hear you.
We found
minute 53. I don't know. I didn't study for this test. I have no idea.
So Nelson Évora, he was homenageado at the minute 53 because he won the bronze medal in the triple.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, see, they didn't say that on ESPN3, man.
Yeah, I didn't get that on Seek either.
See, we didn't get that. I didn't get that memo, so I apologize. But congrats.
That's fine. That's fine. You guys are amazing. So, Denny, an easier question for you. Give me a fair recap of the referee. How would you rate the referee?
I think the referee wasn't necessarily bad. I think he let the game go on in certain aspects. My only complaint about the referee is, first half Plzen, they were fouling a lot more. I think by like the 20th, 25th minute, they already had 7 fouls or something like that. No yellow cards. But then the start of the second half, he started handing out yellow cards to us, even though we weren't the team necessarily fouling that much. I agree that Coate's yellow should have been a yellow. It was good. It was shown correctly. Williams was I think he could have let that go because he sort of let challenges similar to that go in the first half from Plzen. But aside from those, and maybe the penalty shout that I think should have been a penalty, aside from those calls, I don't think he was necessarily that bad. I'll give him a 7 out of 10, just because there are those those big errors that he made. The penalty, maybe the yellows. I don't think, or at least from William, maybe more yellows on their team should have been shown because they were a very physical, tough team. But aside from that, I think he did a good job. And if I know we'll maybe get into this later, but if Portugal wants to solve their referee crisis and you want to go for foreign refs, this guy might not be a bad shout and others like him, but I don't want to get into that too much.
I feel you. So, Bruno Brito, your best player of the game?
For me, there were 3 players and 3 MVPs. I can't choose one because Coentrão, Montero, and Bruno Fernandes. Coentrão were irrepressible, huge race, an example of a player to Sporting, such as Bruno Fernandes. And Montero was well in the game, more available, scored 2 goals, which is what is expected of him. And I still like the exhibition of Brian Ruiz very well in the first half in positional terms, with excellent criteria in the last pass. Seems to be making up for the lost time. In my opinion, we cannot ask for much intensity because it is a player who never had these characteristics. Acuna made an excellent first half too, struggling even though things did not always go well with him. The center backs did well too, and I think it was a good exhibition from our team in general. But the first three were the MVPs in my opinion.
That's really good choices. I would have picked the same 3 as well. So Bruno Mendes. I have to say your last names because then you guys will get confused. What did you think about JJ tactics today?
When Battaglia came in for Acuna, I knew we were playing to hold a 2-0 result. It was kind of his way of taking the foot off the accelerator, I guess you can say, put another midfielder in, hold a result. So I expected them to play, kind of like they did. They weren't really trying to really attack, I guess you can say. It was more of just passing the ball around, containing the result, not getting caught on the counter attack, and trying to build up slowly but surely. And they were building up through the middle, which I don't think is our strongest suit. I think we're better on the wings. But with Acuna coming out, it made it hard. I didn't get to see the first half, unfortunately, but it looks like the only thing that affected us was the opportunities that we missed. So I mean, I can't really fault JJ. I thought he was pretty good. So I mean, out of 10, if I had to give him a score, I'd give him an 8 or a 9.
Okay, sounds good. Danny, Enriquez Montero, is he back or what? What do you think? You saw the whole game today, so he scored 2 goals. Is he back?
I don't want to say back. I just think that he's been playing. He's finally playing in his proper position. Like I mentioned, he was playing at the 9. He was leading the line. I think that's where he plays best. If we've seen throughout his career, not only at Sporting but elsewhere, he plays up front. He's not in and behind the striker. So that's what I think. I don't think he necessarily left. Maybe he's finally getting that rhythm back, if that's what you mean. And I agree with you 100%. He's finally getting that rhythm and that match time that he needed, and because he hadn't played since November, since the playoffs in the MLS. So I guess physically and tactically, sure, he's back. But I just think that had we played him in number 9 position rather than Doumbia at times, I think he would have showed us similar or the exact same output that he did today.
Okay, good. That's a good point, actually. Now going back, I have a couple more questions, and then we'll move on to the next topic, which will be modalities. But before we move on, a couple more questions. I love to put you guys on the spot to see your knowledge of our Sporting Club Portugal. So, Bruno Brito, back at you. Why do you think our Sporting, towards the end of each game, seems to have like heavy legs, fatigued? We break down, and then the other teams, they regain confidence and they almost score on us. What needs to be done to change that and for our team to be consistent the full 90 minutes?
I'm starting to think that it is in our minds. It is a question of attitude, but not only. There is physical issues too, but for example, William Carvalho has a tendency to pass for the center backs. I think he could explore the wings, or we can play by the middle and hold the ball. William Carvalho is strong physically. He can aim the ball and try to push the team forward. But it has to be with the characteristics of the other midfielders. When we had Adrien Silva and João Mario, Adrien Silva played as the tendency to play, pushing the team forward and keeping high pressure, not with contention. And when Bataglia came in, the team start pushing back. I think there is a need for a midfielder who maintain the right equilibrium.
Gotcha. To keep the consistency of the game, if we do decide to sub William Carvalho.
Yeah, the right balance.
That's it. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, that's a good recap. I do agree with you, and that's what we're missing. We're missing, let's say, a clone of William Carvalho, someone that can come in and compensate for the last minutes of the game if he comes out on a sub.
Yeah, and 2 years ago we had João Mario playing in the wing, but he has the characteristics to join the midfielder, the middle, and help keeping the possession. Gelson can do that, but not with the same balance, in my opinion.
The same intensity. Yeah, I agree. So now, Brun Mendes, in your perspective, in your way of seeing our team, for next season, 2018-19, where do we need more reinforcements?
Well, I think we're going to need a replacement for Gelson, because I don't think Gelson's going to be – I don't see Gelson staying after the summer, after the World Cup. I just don't see it. I think he's going to get bought out with a hefty sum, unfortunately.
Can I cut you off?
Go ahead.
Do you think Rafinha is the solution?
I think Rafinha has got potential. Do I think he's the solution? It remains to be seen. With that being said, there's never anything wrong with bringing another insurance policy, right? So if I'm Sporting, I go out and I get another winger. I know we have Rafinha coming in, but again, it's not guaranteed, and we're always an injury away, as we've seen this season, of things getting bad and third and fourth strings playing. So it's never a bad idea to strengthen the wing. I think we definitely need to add another striker, because I don't see Doumbia. I don't think Doumbia should be in the plans. We're going to need a couple of midfielders in, because Brian Rees, this is the last year of his contract. I don't see us re-signing him. Bruno Fernandes, I pray to God he remains. I think he will, but the kid is an absolute phenom, absolute superstar. I pray that he starts for Portugal in the World Cup, because he needs to. He's an absolutely sensational player. How long can we keep him? I don't know. But as far as the reinforcements, I think we definitely need another left back, a backup to Coentrão. I hope Coentrão comes back too. I hope we're able to secure him for another year. I don't know if you guys have seen the interview he did with Marca, I believe, the Spanish Spanish newspaper. He was saying that he wants to finish his career here at Sporting. I would love nothing more. He shows so much heart, man. I love Coentrão. I love everything that he's given for the club. So if he comes back, that's only a plus for us with his leadership. Another left back, though. Couple of midfielders, and definitely a winger and a striker moving forward.
Okay, good. Danny. By the way, Rafinha he belongs to Sporting already. Sporting already negotiated with Guimarães. He's going to start with us season 2018-19. So he's a sure thing.
Right.
But I do agree with you. We do need another winger, and we do need another striker. That's the two positions we need for sure. Totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Okay, Danny.
What's up?
Now, if if Rui Patricio sold, who would you put in goalie?
That's a good question. We have a few youngsters that are making a name for themselves that are doing very well. We have Luis Maximiliano. We have even Pedro Silva, who I've been impressed with every time I've seen him, preseason and even some of his games with the B team and under 19s. It's, to me, if we want to look in-house, it's one of those two. We see in preseason who can battle out their spot. If we want to purchase somebody, that's a different story. You know, we could look within the league at youngsters like Miguel Silva from Guimarães, who he's shown great potential throughout the years, though he hasn't been starting as much as he'd probably like. We can look at other Portuguese internationals like Anthony Lopes from Lyon, see if we can snatch them away from there. But again, Anthony Lopes, he's their captain at certain games. I've seen him wear the captain's armband, so that might be a hefty fee. We can even do what we've done in the past with Peter Schmeichel, and even what Porto did with Iker, and maybe go to a goalie that maybe is at the end or towards the end of their career and still wants to play at a high level. Nothing really comes to mind right now. I can't remember if it was on one of these podcasts or if I was just talking to a buddy, but somebody mentioned Sergio Romero would be a decent shout, and I'd agree 100% with that. So there's options out there. If we want to look in-house, maybe outside in the market, maybe people that I don't even know of or I haven't mentioned. There's a lot of options out there, but I want to say that Rui Patricio is here to stay. I think he's going to retire at Sporting. I think he's going to be one of those one-man clubs or one-man teams, and then he's going to get a beautiful statue outside of José Avelad, and all will be good. Please never mention Rui Patricio leaving again, Steph. I almost had a heart attack. You just saying that. Just the thought of it.
Okay, so one thing came out on the news a couple days ago, which will make all of us very, very happy and with a smile on our faces, which is Sporting is actually indeed trying to negotiate to see if Fábio Coentrão could stay with us. As we know, Fábio Coentrão agreed in reducing his salary to make it happen. So I think it's a huge possibility. He's at the end of his contract with Real Madrid. So he knows if he goes back to Real Madrid, he's not going to start. And he's very happy at Sporting. His family is happy to be back in Portugal. And that makes all the difference as well. Money is not everything in life. If he stays at Sporting, he's still going to be paid well. And he's a great left fullback. So my wishes is for our Fábio Coentrão to stay with Sporting for many, many years. So let's go. Let's make a promise. The four of us, I'm including Sam Fonseca too. Sunday we'll go to church all at the same time. So we'll have to time it because of the time difference. Okay. So
sounds great.
So às 10 da manhã, ok? Às 3 da tarde para o Bruno Brito lá em Portugal. So without any further delays, let's move on to the next topic. And it's a topic I'm interested in knowing your feedback from each one of you. So I'm going to introduce the topic. I'm going to let Danny Saldana go. Then once you finish, Bruno Mendes can go, and then Bruno Brito will go last. Okay, guys? So what do you think about these 5 young players, which I'm about to mention? What are you expecting from them? And do you think they will make the A team next year? And I'm talking about the goalie, Luis Maximiano, the youngster striker, Ronaldo Tavares, which he has been playing in the Sporting B team now for 2 years. He's only 20 years old. Rafael Leão, we've seen a little bit of what he can do. He's only 18 years old. Ivanildo Fernandes, another one, is 19 years old. He's a center back. Pedro Marques is only 19. He's also a striker, and he scored some amazing goals for the B team. And Demiral is a center back. He's from Turkey. He's been with us for a long time. So, Danny, go ahead. Tell me, what are you expecting from these young players?
From the players you mentioned, I think that the most probable one will be Luis Maximiliano to be maybe the backup goalie. Salah, who has rarely played, to be fair. He hasn't really done much. He's played a few Taça da Liga games. I don't even think he's played a Taça Portugal game. So he hasn't played much. So I think, for maybe Luis Maximiliano and or even, like I mentioned before, Pedro Silva, one of them can maybe or even Stojkovic. I know Stojkovic's been on the B team. One of those three, I think, will be the backup goalie for next season. They just have to make their imprint on the preseason. Even Nildo Fernandes, I think, would be tough. He's a good youngster, though. I agree with you there, and he does have a lot to improve and a lot to grow. Maybe with the sale of a center back in the summer, depending if we keep Coates. I know on Twitter we even revealed that Lazio was interested in him. I think we'll keep Mathieu and even Andre Pinto. But if we sell one of those three, or if something happens to one of those three, maybe he'll get in a shot. But we have to also remember that we have Domingos Duarte on loan. We have Marcelo from Rio Ave coming in next season. So it'll be tough for him, really, to battle it out, especially with those two. What were the other players that you mentioned? You had Ronaldo Tavares,
Rafael Leão, Pedro Marques e Demiral.
Right. Demiral is another one similar to Ivanilino Fernandes that, it'll be tough for him. A lot of competition, but out of the two, I think he's the better center back. And if anybody has a shot to make it, I think it's Demiral. I've been really impressed with him. I really like the kid. But like I said, with all the center backs coming back, it'd be tough for him. Maybe a loan to a Liga team would be better. Rafael Leão, I think, is here to stay. He's proven that he can score on the biggest occasions against Porto. So and we've all been in love with him since he's made it to the team. So yeah, I think Rafael Leão is the one that's going to stay next season and rotate with Bas Dost a bit more. And then with Ronaldo Tavares and Pedro Marques, more Pedro Marques. I've heard more about him. I've seen more of his goals. He's been, I think, last year in the UEFA Youth League. It might be this year. I could be confusing it. He scored a few goals for us. So he's another striker that's proven that he can score goals. I think both of them should be at least loaned out. Maybe stay with the B team or be like a third option for us. But another two young prospects with the whole world ahead of them and with a ton of potential. And yeah, from that list, I don't think many make it just because of how highly competitive this squad is and how good this squad is. But a few of them, if it's not next year, it's the year after, because they have a high ceiling. They have very good potential, and at this moment they're already great players. So yeah, that's my answer to that.
Okay, good. Bruno Mendes, go ahead.
Yeah, so out of all those players that you mentioned, I think the easiest one to point out that will be in the squad next year will be Rafael Leão. I think moving forward, he's definitely going to play a big part at Sporting. The only other player that maybe has a chance at staying, like Danny said, I know our keeper Celine is pretty much probably going to be gone after this year. I think he only signed a 1-year contract, right? So we can see Luis Maximiliano, maybe start breeding him, have him train along, Rui Patricio, have him take notes, pick his brain, get to learn from one of the best keepers that's ever put on the Sporting shirt, and one of the best keepers in the world. As far as Ronaldo Tavares, he's got the name. I don't think he has the experience quite yet. I mean, you got the name Ronaldo. I hope you turn out to be a great kid. But I don't see him staying, and it's going to be very hard for the rest of these players that you mentioned to get on the team. I feel like loaning them out to in the first division of Portugal would probably be the best, especially because we already have Marcelo coming in. So I don't see that young center back staying on the squad, maybe having a few opportunities, in friendlies over the summer, but I don't see them being a pivotal part of the squad. As Danny mentioned, we also have Domingos Duarte coming back, so that position is hard. And as far as the strikers, I mean, we have Bastos, we have Montero, and we have Rafael Leão, who I think is a pretty solid rotation when healthy, of course. So to be honest with you, I don't see where all those other youngsters really have a shot. I think the best thing for them to do is go out on loan and keep developing as young players, and hopefully it all works out and they turn out to be great pieces moving forward for us.
And sorry, just to interject, because I just remembered too, we also have Gelson Dalla coming back next season.
See, that's another one.
Even then, that's tough for Marks and even Tavares to really stake a claim, because I think Gelson Dalla's he's been more than deserving of one.
Yeah, I like him a lot.
Yeah,
I agree with both of you. So now, Bruno Brito, why don't you put in your 2 cents?
For me, Luis Maximiano is the goalkeeper with the greatest potential of Sporting's formation. Rafael Leão is the player with the most potential. If he has the ideas on the side, it may be the next crown jewel of our formation. Demiral is a powerful player. He has been evolving in game construction, but he needs to improve that. Needs to raise his composure as well. In my opinion, he should be loaned to a first league team. And in my opinion, he has more potential than Ivanildo, but they are different players. Demiral is similar to Coates, and Ivanildo can be similar to Mathieu, in my point of view. Pedro Marques is mobile, similar to Lietzen, in my opinion. It is not easy to adapt him to our tactical scheme. Ronaldo Tavares is powerful, can be useful in continuous attack, but in my point of view, he has no potential, at least for now, to be an asset in the main squad.
Okay, so now I'm gonna ask each one of you to tell me if certain players they should go or they should stay. Quick answers, nothing to take long, so we can move on to the next topic. Agreed?
Agreed.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll try not to ramble.
Okay, yeah, please don't ramble, Papagino. Okay, now, Doumbia, should go or should stay?
I've been saying since December, this guy needs to leave.
Fora.
So that's me.
Okay, Leão Interno.
Yeah, I agree. If the solution is a player like Slimani, for example.
Okay, if the new acquisition is Slimani, well, I hope so. Brian Ruiz, you should go or should stay?
Bye.
Yeah, another one that should go as well.
Then Bruno.
Ciao. Adeus.
Leão Interno.
For me too, because of his age and because he earns a lot of money. So I think we can bring a free agent to replace him, or bring Isua, for example.
Agreed, because his contract is ending in June anyway.
But just so we're not looking as haters, credit to him. The last 3 games he's been outstanding. So credit to Brian Ruiz. But I agree with all of you. He needs to go.
Yeah. Well, he needs to go, and he's going because if Sporting wanted to keep him, he would have renewed the contract by now.
Exactly.
Okay. So, Brun says it. Should go or should stay?
Should stay to be an option off the bench unless we get better.
Manda pra China.
Ok. Ele não fala chinês, atenção.
Falar chinês, meu, mas os clubes da China pagam.
Yeah, meu. Estava a brincar, meu. Porra. Ok, Leão Interno, go ahead.
He's an useful player with a very good attitude every time he's called to the game. In my opinion, he should stay, but if there is a good transfer, a good proposal, it's a good opportunity to sell him.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I agree. Do we have anybody like that at Sporting now? In our youth, in our B team, in our juniors, do we have anybody like that? Um jogador polivalente como ele?
I've been liking Pedro Delgado, to be honest. He's not been that bad.
O Pedro Delgado?
Yeah, he's been playing on the right wing. He's done okay. He scored a few
Okay.
goals here and
Can
there.
he play? Can you play in the left wing? Can he play in the middle like Bruno?
Yeah, no.
Like
Yes.
Bruno César?
Daniel
Well, I've
Pulens,
seen him-
meu. Temos o Daniel Pulens.
Uh,
Ah, não é o mesmo. Atenção.
Nah.
Multitasking like Bruno César.
Yeah.
Maybe Bruno Paz, but it isn't the same. Bruno Paz can play at the right back, left back, defensive midfielders.
Ah, pois é. How old is
Midfielder
he?
too.
How old is
19, I think.
O Bruno Brás, que idade é que tem?
Tem 19, salvo erro.
I think so too.
Opa, that's good to know. That's I forgot about him. Yes. O puto é bom. Yeah. Good one, Bruno. Good one. Okay, so now let me move on. Petrovic should stay or go?
He should go. We have Pilinha.
Bruno.
Yeah, agreed. He needs to go.
Leão Interno.
Yeah, I agree. We bought Mizic and Vendel, and I think they will play more on the next season.
Yeah, they'll be good to go by next season. Now, this is a tough one for everybody, I know, but I love to put you guys on the spot. Ruben Ribeiro, I know we just got him, so he should go, he should stay.
I think we should give him another half season, but
until
I think
January.
at the end of the day, he should go because really we brought the wrong person from Rio to play that position. We should have been bringing back Geraldo, but okay.
Okay, Brunex.
Desculpe lá, mas não é jogador para o Sporting. In my opinion, he's not a player to play in any of the top three in that regard. So no, I don't think he should stay. I think it was a bad move to get him in the first place.
Okay, Leão Interno.
The same like Bruno César about the opportunity window. If there is a good transfer, I think we could sell him.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Bruno Fernandes looks like he's not going to be sold. He looks like he's going to stay at Sporting next season. I'm talking a little bit about 2018-2019.
Right.
So, do you think that Sheikh Geraldo would be a good backup of Bruno Fernandes?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
He's a good backup, and we've seen today, Bruno Fernandes can play as the 8. And then Brian Ruiz should have played as the 10. We can easily do that as well with Bruno Fernandes playing as the 8 and then Sheikh Geraldo playing as the 10 as well. I think they can play together. And one can replace the other as well. So yeah, of course.
Okay. How do you feel, Bruno?
Yeah, man, I completely agree. I hope he finally gets his shot at Sporting because I hate that in these past 2 years we've been loaning him out. I feel like he could have already helped the team this season. So yeah, absolutely. I think he can definitely be a great quality backup to Bruno Fernandes, no doubt in my mind.
So we don't need to go in the market and look for another similar player to Bruno Fernandes because we already have one. Agreed?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. No need to waste money.
Exactly. Leão Interno, do you agree?
Yeah, and we can't forget Vendel because we paid a lot of money for him, and
yeah,
we will have three good solutions: Bruno Fernandes, Vendel, and Geraldo. And
exactly.
Geraldo can play at the same time, like the other said, and. we can play with a 4-3-3 formation, or like we used to play with Bruno Fernandes, more offensive than Geraldo.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree with the assessments for the three of you guys. Now, if Chelsea Martin stays, are we going to be happy with wingers with Chelsea Martins and Rafinha? Is that good enough for Sporting if we keep Chelsea Martins?
And Podence, who can also play there. I think that's
Yeah, of course. And Podence too. I'm talking about Rafinha because we just got him from Guimarães.
Of course, yeah. I think so, yeah. I think Rafinha can even slot in on the left as well. So we can play with both of them, or one can interchange after the other. One can play on. They could probably both play on the right. I think that would be good. That would be good. Again, like I said, with Paulins, three good wingers. Maybe grab another one, just to be safe. But if not, that's why I say we keep Bruno Cesar. Unless, like Bruno said, we get a good offer for him. So that would be 4 decent wingers right there.
And we can't forget the probably return from Mateus Pereira.
Exactly. Yeah, I forgot about him. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Good point, Leon. Good point. Brunex, what's up?
Yeah, man. So I completely agree. We have Mateus Pereira, who's having a really good season at Chaves. And I think the great thing about Rafinha, he can play on the left, he can play on the right. I really hope Gelson stays. So if he stays, yeah, absolutely. Rafinha and Gelson would create a great tandem. I just honestly don't see Gelson staying. He's getting a lot of interest from the big clubs in Europe. And I think after the World Cup, unfortunately, I think he's going to be on the move. But of course, knowing Bruno Carvalho, we're obviously going to get that price that we want. He's not going to go cheaply.
Okay, good. Now,
million.
Jetson Dollar, is he a good replacement if Doumbia goes? Is he good enough? What do you guys think?
Who wants it first?
You.
I guess I want it first.
You spoke first, so go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'll tell you what, he can be worse than Doumbia. Okay, he can't be worse than these past performances that we've seen. So, yeah, I think Gelson Dalla, if I had to pick today, he definitely deserves a shot over Doumbia. I absolutely don't see why not.
Okay, Leon Interno, what do you think?
In my opinion, Dalla is very fast, and he can be very useful for the games we want to be with our lines back, play at counter with counter attack, and Dumia is losing his top speed. So I think it could be a good solution for the team.
Agreed. Okay, so now, Danny, do you want to say something about that? O Danny foi à pesca da enguia. Okay, so let's move on to the next player.
Hello.
Oh my God, bro!
For this, I talk, but like it's not picking up. I don't know.
Oh, tu precisas comprar um microfone novo, meu. Isso está estragado, meu. Comprasse essa merda ali na Feira da Ladra.
Can you hear me still?
Yeah, I can, man.
All right. Anyways, yeah, I agree with you guys 100%. Sorry about all of this technical.
No, that's cool. Last player I want to talk about because he deserves my most respect. And you guys forgot about him. And I'm kind of disappointed. Ryan Gold.
Oh, yeah.
I know. What happened with him? So what do you think? Does he fit in? Are we just forgetting about him? What's going on with the Scottish kid?
My only problem with Ryan Gold is, one, where do we play him? Who do we play him ahead? I know he was injured for a bit against for Avs, but he hasn't really impressed, at least me, so far this season. I know there was a lot of hype around this kid, and I hope things still do come good for him. But I don't know. I don't know if he has a spot on the team next year, to be honest with you.
Brunex, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't think he's ready just yet. Mostly because like Danny said, he's been a player who's unfortunately had to deal with a couple of injuries when he has been loaned out, and when he was at, I believe last year it was Stubble, right? Stubble, he was loaned out, but then the whole drama happened between the clubs, and we had to recall him from loan. And he was actually looking very, very good at Stubble. He was pretty much finding his form. This year he's been hurt and with injuries, so he hasn't been able to get to that level that I saw him in at Stubble. So I think one more year loaned out will do very good for him, especially because I just honestly don't see a spot for him in the plantel next year. I really, really don't.
Okay. Now we're going to move on to the next topic, which is modalidades, and we're going to consult our expert from Portugal, motherland, Bruno Brito, Leão Interno. Go ahead, my friend.
So I will start with women's soccer. This week there was a stop for the Algarve Cup. Our players did very well during the tournament, especially Inês Pereira, who only conceded 2 goals throughout all the competition and also defended a penalty that was decisive for the Portuguese team, third place in the competition. Best standing ever in the competition by our national team. It was an excellent performance. Sporting B lost 0-2 against Tarouca, and they will go to the Açores on the next Saturday to play against Santa Clara. The team needs a good result to stay away from the relegation positions. Let's see what they will do. Our 119 won 1-0 in Matosinhos with a late goal at the 81 minutes, and they are on the fight for the title with less 3 points than the leader. About futsal, our futsal team won 5-1 against Modicus and maintained the advantage of 6 points on the first place. They will now play against Aves next Saturday and work for another, and they will, I'm sure they will work for another convincing victory in order to maintain the advantage over the second classified Benfica. About our women's futsal, they lost 2-1 against Benfica, and they are now on the 5th place, 3 points behind the first. A special note to the miserable attitude of some supporters of Benfica, who insulted the sporting athlete and sang chants wishing her death. This is not what we want to see in the world of sport. About handball, the handball team won against Avanca 32-25 in Estarreja due to bad weather. The team continued the victorious cycle in the championship, maintaining the lead, 4 points of advantage and 100% of victories away from home. Next game will be in Mafra against Belenenses, last game of the regular phase. It will be a difficult game due to the fact that Belenenses is still fighting for a place on the first 6. Hockey in Patins, our hockey team continues their winning streak in the championship, this time beating Turkel away by 7-1 with another great display. This weekend our team will receive the Liceu of Coruña for the European League. If they win, they will finish the group in the first place and will avoid more difficult opponents in the quarterfinals like Porto and Barcelona, for example. About athletics, like we said before, Nelson Ever won the bronze medal on triple jump at the Indoor World Championship in Birmingham. Great achievement of our athlete with 34 years, failing gold by only 3 centimeters. Our esports team reached the final of League Cup, but lost 1-0 against Grow Up Sports. And finally, but not less important, our women's rugby team won the Portuguese Cup with a 14-12 victory against Benfica. Another great achievement. And that's all about our modalities this week.
Great, great, great. I'm so excited. I don't know if you guys saw the cover page from o Jornal Sporting. It was a beautiful cover page, giving relevance of handball being in first place, volleyball being ahead of Cristal Maia by one game in the playoff, the Joaquim Patins being in first place because Benfica tied 2-2 against Valongo, so we regained the first place. So we're doing really, really, really great in all the modalities. Futsal, of course, we're still in first place. So I'm very, very happy. This is why I decided to become associate sporting, because I know the money of the dues that we pay, they go straight to the modalidades, and I want them to be strong. Like I've said it so many times, Sporting Club Portugal is bigger than just a football team. It's also 55, and I said it correctly. I didn't make a mistake. 55 modalities, which is a lot. When one of the only clubs in the whole world that has so many modalities, and every Sportingista should be proud of it. You know, you chose the right club to love and fall in love with, and to talk about, and to have passion for. That's what I think. Yeah.
I just realized that I passed volleyball for a lapse. I just forget to mention the volleyball.
Yeah, the volleyball, they up one game in the playoffs against Cristal Maia. If they win the next two games in João Rocha, they qualify for the final, either against Benfica or Espinho.
No, they did the first game, yeah, and they won 3-1 in Maia.
Yeah.
And they play this weekend. If they won the two matches, they reach the final, and probably will face Benfica in the final. Yeah.
Yeah, because Benfica, they won away, and then so basically it'll be awesome finals. So okay, so let's wrap it up. We have one topic. I don't want us to take way too long with it, but it's something that we have to talk about because it's coming out on all the Portuguese channels. It's coming out all over the world. It's coming out on all over the newspapers, and it's the corruption in the Portuguese league, not only Liga NOS, but the second league in the whole Portugal. My question to you guys is very simple. I'm not here to talk about any other clubs. That's not the purpose of this topic. I want to put the responsibility in the Portuguese government and the judicial system. How do you guys feel about it? I'm going to save Bruno Brito, Leão Interno, for last because he lives in Portugal. He might have a better perspective, more info than we do because we live overseas. So I'm gonna start with Bruno Mendes. What do you think? Do you think the Portuguese government will be able to solve this corruption that has taken over of the Portuguese football and the judicial system? Do you think they'll be able to fix it?
No. That's. I mean, this has been a decade now of corruption, and they haven't done anything to fix it. So why would they fix it now? Unfortunately, I honestly don't like, just knowing how corrupt everything is. I honestly don't see it getting fixed unless FIFA comes down on us or something like that on the league. But I honestly don't see it getting fixed, unfortunately.
Okay. Yeah, I feel you, brother. I feel the same way. Denny, what do you think? All the way from Toronto, how's the sporting community in Toronto feel about it?
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
I can't speak for all of us here, all of us Torontonians here in Toronto, but I agree with Bruno. I don't know how much they can fix, or if they even want to fix it, if they're even bothered to fix it, or deal out consequences with it. I know at least. Well, I know at least. Not to bring it up because it's them, but just there are people that are starting to go into to prison for some of these things that are starting to come out, and proving that the Sportingistas aren't going crazy or aren't insane or aren't inventing any stories, which is, I mean, always a good thing. But yeah, I don't know if they'd want to. Like Bruno mentioned, it's been going on for a decade, and apart from maybe a few people in jail, it hasn't necessarily changed much. So I don't know if there's much they can do.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, I think money talks. So
exactly.
I'll leave it at that.
I agree with you.
Okay, so Bruno Brito, all the way from Portugal, how do the sporting community feel about it?
In my opinion, it is a shame. I want integrity in sport. I want ethics. In my view, the state should regulate standards and enforce them strictly in order to maintain suitability in sport. But in Portugal, I think even the rulers cannot undress their shirts, and that means there is impunity in the face of fraud in sport. It's sad, but it's the reality, in my opinion. I only see hope if there is an instance created like the Premier League in England to work in pro of football and fans. If there isn't the case, I didn't see the things getting better.
That's it? That's what it? Okay. So me, I'm gonna give my 2 cents because this is something that bothers me very much. I think in Portugal, the lack of ethics. Basically, if you are a politician, if you are in charge of a liga, if you are in charge of a federação, if you're in charge of Conselho de Disciplina, if you're in charge of a PAF, whatever agency, federation you represent, you must be neutral. You shouldn't be choosing a club. You should be preferring Sporting or preferring Benfica or Porto. I'm just going to name the big three. You should be neutral. When you're doing a job, you have to remain neutral. And that's something that's not happening in Portugal. People accept bribes as like a T-shirt or voucher, and in Portugal they think that's a normal thing when it's not, because of the job that you carry, the job that you were given to, that you were voted for, that you were asked to do for the players, for the teams, for the fans. So that's why I think in Portugal it's a little bit backwards, and they still stuck in the Stone Age, in the 60s or 70s, because they haven't evolved in that aspect of the organizations and federations and different agencies. If I'm a Sporting fan, I'm a Sporting socio, but if I was a referee or if I was the president of the Seleção Portuguesa, I could honestly tell you that I would be neutral. And the reason why I'm saying this, I'm going to tell you a little bit of something that happened with me last week with my job. I'm not going to give you any details because I can't, but I work for immigrations and I work for customs and border protection. But when I have to send somebody back, it doesn't matter where they're from. So I sent somebody back, and you know what? He was Sportingista, and I'm not going to say his name, of course not, but it doesn't matter. I'm doing my job, and that's, I swore to my country, which is the United States of America, that I would perform my job at my full abilities and capacity, and that's what I do. When I'm doing my job, I don't care where you're from. I don't care who you like. I'm going to do it the way it's supposed to be done. And Portugal's not there yet, and it's very sad. Very sad that people are still accepting bribes and or sexual favors or money laundering or drugs or weapons. I mean, I've heard it all, and it's an embarrassment. I love my Portugal, but you know, whoever supports corrupt people, you're not good people. When you applaud someone because he's winning titles for you, you're not a good chef familia. Because was Sporting caught in corruption once or twice? Yes, but we handled it properly. we kicked those involved in corruption out of the club. We stripped them of the cartão sócio. We told them, get out of my club, get the fuck out of my club. We treated them with no respect. But some clubs, what they do is they put them in a pedestal and they applaud them and they want them to stay in power, even if it means winning titles by cheating. And that's why Sportingistas are different. That's why I love my Sportingistas brothers and sisters, because we see the light at the end of the tunnel. We are honest people. We don't like corruption. When we have people involved in corruption, we kick them out. And I can give you a few examples. O Godinho Lopes, Cristóvão is a piece of shit. So we handled it with class. We didn't applaud them because maybe we had some advantage to it. And that's all I got to say. So to all my Sportingistas brothers today, thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure. You guys were outstanding. And Viva Sporting Clube Portugal. The last thing I want from you guys is the predictions for Chaves and the second leg of Plzen. So, Danny, go first.
Chaves will be a hard-fought match because we won't have Bruno Fernandes and Acuna, but we will win 2-0. And then against Vitória Plzen, we'll win 1-0 away from home.
Okay. Bruno Mendes, go ahead.
Yeah, so for the Chaves game, it's going to be away. I think it's going to be a 3-0. To be honest with you guys, I think it's going to be 3-0. And as far as the away match against Plzen, I think it's going to be tough because I don't think they've lost a home match in the Europa League, or actually all season yet, I believe, if I looked at that stat, right? So I could honestly see us tying a 1-1 away from home.
They actually lost the last game.
Oh, they lost the last game? Well, I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to stick with 1-1.
No, that's fine. Leão Interno.
Just only one additional note. I think in Portugal there are always conflicts of interest, and it seems that when someone moves to take action, it is removed from the scene and everything goes down. We need to start learning. I think we need to start learning ethics in secondary school, in physical education, to see if we learn something good by the roots instead of learning from some leaders in Portugal. And continue and avoid continuing in a vicious cycle. That's my opinion about the game in Chaves. I think we must be competent and effective, stand strong defensively, and I think we will win by 2-0.
And the second leg of Europa League?
Maybe 2-1 to earn some more extra points for us.
Yeah, I agree. So for Chaves, I think we'll win. I feel the same way, 2-0. And against Plzen, I'll say we're going to win 2-0 again away. So that's it. Yeah, go ahead.
Steph, before we go, I just want to say to our Italian brothers in Fiorentina.
Oh, yes.
About the passing and, just paying their respects to the player, David Aston. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong, but thoughts and prayers to them, to his family, to the fans. I saw a couple of videos and pictures today from the scene. Absolutely beautiful. So credit to them for putting on such a beautiful display to such a great player that contributed to their club. So that's all I got to say.
Yeah, Forza Viola.
Yeah, Forza Viola story. Okay, so it wraps it up. Today wraps it up. The Sporting160EN podcast number 3. See you next week. We'll have a special guest on Tuesday. We'll have Nuno Velhinhas. It's confirmed. I already spoke to him. I'll let you know the time. I'm excited. He's a great guest. He knows a lot about marketing. So we're going to be drilling his brain a little bit. We'll make it fun. And so let's say your goodbyes, guys. Go ahead.
All right, I'll start. Thanks for listening again, guys. Viva Sporting and ciao.
Okay, ciao, Bacalhau. Later. Viva Sporting Clube Portugal.
See everyone in the Europa League final.
Yeah.
selo do coração. Rapaziada, bem que eu lhes digo, gritem todos comigo. Viva a Sporting! Rapaziada, é falso se não passa, vitória será nossa. Viva a Sporting! Rapaziada, são bem o que eu lhes digo, gritem todos comigo. Viva a Sporting! Rapaziada, que falso se não passa, a vitória será nossa. Viva a Sporting! Bandeira verde, união e uma esperança sem fim, muita fé no coração. O Sportingista é assim. Rapaziada, hoje são bem o que eu lhes digo, gritem todos comigo. Viva a Sporting! Rapaziada, que se faça, se não passa, vitória será nossa. Viva a Sporting! Rapaziada, hoje são bem o que eu lhes digo, gritem todos comigo. Viva a Sporting! Rapaziada, que se faça, se não passa, vitória será nossa. Viva a Sporting! Ai, vamos lá cantar a marcha